Hi, third grade. This is Mrs. Renalay with the Lemonade War. This is part 2 of chapter 10. Jessie poured her milk slowly. Evan's mad at me, and he's going to be a whole lot madder after today, she added in her head. What's he mad about? Asked Mrs. Tresky. I don't know. He called me a baby and said I ruin everything, and Jessie felt it coming. She tried to hold it back, but she knew it was coming. Her shoulders tightened, her chest caved in, her mouth opened in a howl. He said he hates me. Tears poured out of her eyes and dropped into her cereal bowl. Her nose started to run and her lips quivered. With every sob, she let out a sound like tires squealing on a wet road. For the whole time Jessie cried, her mother wrapped her in a hug, and then, like a faucet turned off, Jessie stopped. She had told the truth. She didn't really understand why Evan was so angry. Evan, before the Lemonade War, he had been mad, and Jessie still didn't know why. Better? Asked Mrs. Tresky. Not much, said Jessie. She wiped her nose with her paper napkin and started eating her cereal. It was soggy, but thankfully not salty. Don't you think it would be a good idea to find out what he's mad about? Asked their mom. You're never going to stop being mad at each other until you both understand what the other person is feeling. I guess so, said Jessie. It can be hard. Sometimes it's even hard to know what you're feeling about yourself. I mean, how do you feel about him? Asked Mrs. Tresky. Jessie didn't have to think long. All the insults and anger, the confusion and fighting seemed to converge in a single flash of white-hot feeling. I hate him. I hate him for saying all those mean things and for not letting me play. I hate him just as much as he hates me. More. Mrs. Tresky looked sad. Can we have a sit down about this tonight, after you get back from the beach? No, said Jessie, remembering the spit foul. Evan would be mad if he knew that she had worried Mom with their fighting. And then he'd spill the beans about the terrible thing she was about to do, and Jessie didn't want her mom knowing anything about that. We'll work it out ourselves, Mom. I promise. Evan and I will talk tonight. I'm sorry I've been working so hard, said Mrs. Tresky. I know it's a lousy end to the summer. It's okay, Mom. You gotta work, right? Yes. No, I don't know. I promise I'll be finished by dinner time tonight. That way we can all go to the fireworks tonight. Jessie's mom looked out the window. I hope they don't get canceled because of weather. They're saying scattered thunderstorms this evening. Jessie and her mom finished breakfast without saying much else. I'll clean up, said Jessie. She liked to do dishes, and she wanted to do something nice for her mom. While she cleaned, she thought about the terrible plan she had come up with last night. It was mean. It was really mean. It was the meanest thing she'd ever imagined doing. I'm not going to do it, she decided. I hate him, but I don't hate him that much. She was putting the last glass in the dishwasher when Evan walked in. His backpack was bulging. I thought you were going to the beach for the whole day, he said. Megan's picking me up in half an hour. She thought she saw Evan stiffen up. Good, she thought. What's in your backpack? Not much, he said, dumping out the contents onto the table. Cans of lemonade mix rolled all over. Jessie tried to count, but there were too many. 15, 20? Holy macaroni, how many cans did you buy? 32. But you don't need that much. Even to win, you don't need that much. That's... She did the calculations in her head. That's 256 cups of lemonade. If you sell them at 50 cents apiece... $1, said Evan. I'm going to charge $1 apiece. Jessie felt like her head was going to explode. You'll never sell it all. There isn't a neighborhood in town that will buy 256 cups in one day. I'm going to roll like the ice cream truck, said Evan. I'm going to mix it up in a big cooler and wagon it from street to street. The high today is going to be 94 degrees. It might take me all day, but I'll sell every last drop. 256 smackers. And then tonight, Juicy, we count our earnings. Don't forget, winner takes all. But you don't need $256 to win, she shouted. Evan stood tall and said in that gravelly voice all the boys used to intimidate, I don't play to win. I play to pulverize. Oh, what an idiot. Jessie couldn't believe her brother could be such a jerk. She watched as Evan put together his rolling lemonade stand in the garage. The big cooler was something Miss Tresky had bought a few years back when she was in charge of the school spring fling. It looked like a giant bongo drum with a screw-off top and a spigot at the bottom. Evan unloaded it into the wagon, then poured in the mix from all 32 cans. He used the garden hose to fill the cooler to the top, then dumped in 4 trays of ice cubes. With a plastic beach shovel, he stirred the lemonade. The ice cubes made a weird rattling noise as they swirled around in the big drum. Using the shovel like a spoon, he scooped out a tiny bit and tasted it. Perfect, he announced. Then he went into the basement to make his sign for the lemonade on wheels stand. Without a moment's hesitation, Jessie sprang into action. First, she got out a large Ziploc bag from the kitchen drawer, the kind that you could freeze a whole gallon of strawberries in if you wanted to. Then she held it upside down and wide open over the fruit bowl. She gave the bowl a solid knock. Jessie was surprised how easy it was to catch all the fruit flies that floated up from the bowl. It was like they wanted to die. She filled that bag and 2 more bags with flies, then hurried to the garage. She unscrewed the top of the big cooler. Holding the bag upside down, she unzipped it, expecting the flies to fall down into the lemonade. They didn't. They stayed safe and dry in the bag. It was like they wanted to live. Too bad for you, you stupid flies, said Jessie as she plunged the bag into the lemonade. Under the surface, she turned the bag inside out, swishing it back and forth so that all the flies were washed off into the lemonade. She emptied all 3 bags of flies into the cooler, then hunted around until she found 2 green inchworms, a fuzzy gypsy moth caterpillar. She tossed them into the cooler, then she threw in a fistful of dirt for good measure. She was just about to screw the top back on when she heard Evan coming up the basement stairs. There wasn't enough time to get the top back on the cooler. He would see the bugs and the whole plan would be ruined. Jessie ran to the steps and shouted, Evan, Mom wants to see you in her office. Right away. Oh, man, muttered Evan as he started to climb the stairs. Jessie quickly screwed on the cap, grabbed her blue bathing suit from the basement, and then went upstairs to her room. On the way, she passed Evan coming down. Mom did not want to see me. He sounded annoyed. Jessie looked surprised. That's what it sounded like. She yelled something down the stairs. I thought it was, get Evan. Jessie shrugged. So I got you. From her bedroom window, she watched Evan rolling down the street with his lemonade on wheels stand. He was like one of those old-time peddlers calling out, Lemonade, get your ice-cold lemonade here. For one lightning brief second, Jessie felt a stab of regret. She could see how hard he was straining to pull the heavy cooler. She knew what it was like to stand in the hot sun selling lemonade. But the feeling was snuffed out by the hurricane of anger she felt when she remembered Evan saying, pulverize. Jessie switched into her bathing suit, packed up her beach bag, and said a quick goodbye to her mother as Megan's family pulled into the driveway. What a great day for the beach, said her mother. Have fun and be home in time for the fireworks, okay? The fireworks. Yep. Jessie imagined there would be some fireworks tonight. That's the end of Chapter 10.